Yes guys, welcome to a brand new video. My name is Conan and today, as you guys can tell, I'm at the grocery store now, so I'm gonna give you some of my top tips to go grocery shopping. So the first tip that I have for you is to try not to go when you're super hungry, because when you put yourself into the grocery store while feeling super hungry, you just tend to get a bunch of crap that you probably don't need, because when you're hungry, you're gonna be craving a lot more of the junk foods like the chips, the cookies, the sweets. And especially at grocery stores nowadays, especially in the US, you are pretty much surrounded by, like, I'm looking at cookies right now. And so make sure that you eat a meal prior to going to the grocery store, because this will save you so much money in the long term. And now the second tip as well is to come prepared. So have a grocery shopping list either on your phone or write it down with like pen and paper, which my mom used to do all the time. Because if you come to the grocery store with like no real list, similar to like when you're hungry, you're gonna end up buying a lot more food than you probably need. And then the third tip to follow that is to also have a set budget. So whenever I go, and again, this can depend on the person, how many people you're trying to feed, but I personally, I just feed myself, and I try to set a budget at only $50 per week every time I go. And so as you guys can tell, by putting myself within this limitation, I have to be really careful with the foods that I get. So I cannot just aimlessly get a bag of chips or aimlessly get like these snacks or all these other things that I probably don't need, right? So by having like a set budget for yourself, you get a lot more creative and you really only tend to pick up the things that you really need. So like, what are the core things that you probably need for the week? You should probably be getting like your lean sources of protein. Think of like your chicken breast, your beef, your fish, your eggs, right? And then your whole grains, like your oatmeal, potatoes, sweet potatoes, rice maybe as well, right? And then your healthy fats, like your nut butters, your olive oils, your seeds, your avocados, and then of course your fruits and vegetables. Those are like the main things that you should be getting at the grocery store. And then if you do have any money left over, then you can maybe get some of the snacks, right? So by setting yourself a budget or like a limit, it allows you to kind of like work within it and really only prioritize the things that you really need instead of aimlessly spending money on things that you probably don't need, right? Now the last thing here, and I actually learned this like probably a decade ago. So I think I got this from a YouTube channel, which back then was called Six Pack Shortcuts. I believe his name was Mike Chang. But basically he gave me this tip and it stuck with me to this day. And that is to basically shop around the perimeter. And so the perimeter basically means that you're not shopping in between the aisles, you're basically shopping outside of the aisles, right? Because what you'll notice is that most of the fresh food is like around the perimeters, and then all the snacks, the chips, the cookies are like within the aisles, right? So if you can try to shop like around the perimeter, right? So right now I'm like on the edge of the perimeter. So right here, I'm like facing the fruits and vegetables. Behind me are like the dairy products. And then over there is like the proteins and the eggs and then the dairy stuff. So as you guys can tell, all the fresh food lies around the perimeter. And then once you do go into like the aisles, that's when things start to get a bit messy with like I mentioned, the snacks, the chips, the cookies, all that stuff, right? I'm not saying you cannot do that, but just try your best to stay within the perimeters, right? Or let me say outside of the perimeters. If you're opting for like the freshest, healthiest options at the grocery store. So those are my top, I believe, 4 or 5 tips when it comes to going to the grocery store. And I've been implementing these tips over the past, honestly, ever since I got into fitness, and it's kind of like second nature to me, but I do think a lot of people sometimes need to be reminded of these tips. So hopefully at least one of the tips kind of helped you out. And yeah, let me know if you guys do have any questions for me. And now if you need help reaching your health and fitness goals and you just don't want to spend all your time and money figuring out like, okay, what should I be getting at the grocery store? How can I create my own meal plan? All this stuff. In the link in the description down below, you can actually book a free consultation call with me. We'll basically go over your fitness goals and we'll kind of create a game plan to help get you there. We'll go over your struggles and ultimately see if you'd be a good fit for my program. The link will be in the description down below. If you guys do have any questions for me, as always, please let me know and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.